Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I'm Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today, we're gonna get real about the VR games releasing in the month of January. Now, historically, this is the slowest month for new games, and it doesn't look like 2026 is gonna be an exception. Now, there are a few games I'm excited for this month, like Captain Hardcore. Alright, I'm just kidding. But there are some cool titles that I will be covering this month, but overall, yeah, it's lackluster. So we're just gonna keep things real. I'll tell you about these games. I'll keep an open mind and stay positive, but at the same time, I won't glaze up games that just don't look good. Now, there are of course the links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead. But let's start into that list of January's new VR games, ordered loosely by their expected release dates. Now, first up is Marksman VR, that puts you into the role of an elite sniper. Now, this military-themed tactical shooter is releasing today in early access, and I'm honestly not 100% sure what to expect from this one. Being PCVR only, it definitely delivers better than average graphics, and if done correctly, I could see this being extremely immersive, but overall, I'm not seeing much more than a shooting gallery. So for now, we'll just keep an eye on this title and see what happens. Now, next up, we have Fixer Undercover, which is definitely giving me some I Expected to Die vibes with its own unique twist. It still has a bit of a spy theme to it, but you'll be facing all the challenges this game throws at you with power tools, DIY solutions, and creativity. So it's like Tool Time meets MacGyver, and if you don't understand that reference, you're most likely younger than 30. Now, the developers Creativity AR actually have a background in real-life escape rooms, so I have some high expectations on the overall level design. Now, this is the type of game that can go either way. If it's done extremely well, it could be the next I Expected to Die, or it could just be another mediocre game that's easily forgotten, so I'll keep my fingers crossed for this one. Now, moving on, it looks like the MetaQuest is finally getting a racing sim. Now, they're promising authentic physics and stunning graphics, but I'll believe that when I see it, because even as a Quest title, this game's looking a bit basic. But at the same time, for only $12.99, this will be the first time we get to jump into a Formula 1 racer on the MetaQuest, so let's hope the game looks better graphically in VR, and it does hold up as a solid racing title, because racing fans on the MetaQuest just don't have a lot of games to pick from. But VR is all about the mechanics and physical interaction, but why drive a car when you can Skyleap? From the same studio that brought us an array of games like Z-Race, Omega Pilot, Exo Cars, and even Rockin' Roots, they're now back with a new racing title, but this time it's a parkour experience. Now, keeping it real with you guys, I am sure a game like this can be really fun in VR. At the same time though, almost 10 years ago, we got To the Top, and at first glance, that just looks like a much better game. So while I do admit this could be a lot of fun and it does look cool, I just have some higher expectations for 2026, and it feels like we are going backwards. And on that note, the next game looks unfortunately very similar. Now, I will say I like the art style here a lot more, and it does feel like mechanically these titles are different, but again, I feel the same way I do about the previous title. I'm expecting more this late in the game, but there's always a place for these smaller titles because gaming is just about having a good time, and I'm downloading it as we speak. Now, if you want me to cover this game or anything else I talk about, please let me know in the comments. I always prioritize what you guys ask for. But let's crank this list up a bit with the horror action-adventure title Dread Meridian. Previously, I tried 2 early demos of this game, and I recently put together an early access video. Overall, the game feels like Madison VR meets Dead Space, with tons of clever puzzles, super creepy moments, and plenty of action. Now, you don't need to ask me to cover this one because that's already scheduled for about 2 weeks from now, but I'll also consider streaming this game if you want to watch me pee my pants live. Just let me know down in the comments if I should do the live stream. Now, the next title is a game that went through many changes over time, and I hope it just doesn't turn out to be a catastrophe. This is a game about a cat with a katana who's here to slice through enemies and parkour like a badass, which is becoming a theme for this month. Katana was originally a prototype called Red Flowers coming from Joyway, which for some of you might be a red flag, but I still have some faith in this studio because there were some really cool aspects in games like Dead Hook, Stride, and their single-player campaign Stride Fates. Unfortunately though, it now looks like they're trying to capitalize on the younger audience of the MetaQuest, and I'm pretty sure even if this game is a lot of fun, it's most likely not right for me. But I can't say the same thing about our next title, Orcs Must Die by The Blade, because it's my #1 most anticipated VR game on today's list. Now, for those unfamiliar with the Flat Game series, there's technically 4 separate titles, but only the first 3 were the same type of hack and slash meets tower defense type of game. Now, that's the footsteps that By The Blade will follow in, and for the first time in VR VR, we'll get to plan our defenses by setting up a series of traps, and then take the rest of the battle to the invading orcs. Now, a nice little cherry on top is the fact that this game will also have co-op, so I'm expecting to dump a ton of hours into this one. Actually, I think I have to take back a previous comment, because the game I'm most excited for is Captain Hardcore. This is an intergalactic journey to find the most hardcore... Okay, I've gone too far. But this is the type of stuff that still comes out on VR, is somehow popular, and listen, I am no prude by any means. And this is the type of things for VR that not only do I not understand how people make these games, but also how people play these games. I can't. 10 years in VR, and no matter how curious I am, I'm a very curious person. Yeah, I am not touching these with a 10-foot pole. But jokes aside, we have one last solid game to go over, and that's the action-adventure title, Pirates VR Jolly Rogers, making its way onto the Meta Quest. Now, this game was actually announced for PCVR years ago, and back then the graphics looked absolutely mouth-watering, but by the time it released, we had other beautiful titles like Hubris to compare it to, and overall it's just a fairly short action-adventure title that has you exploring, climbing, solving puzzles, and battling some skeletons. Now, I'm not sure how much they'll have to downgrade it to get it running on the Quest 3, and performance does look a little spotty on those trailers, but I still expect this will be fairly solid on the Meta Quest. Well, like I said, guys, not too much going on in this month of January. I'm excited for Dread Meridian. I know that's good. Orcs Must Die by the Blade. Please don't let me down. I was a huge fan of that series. I hope that's going to be good. I'll try the other titles like Catana. We'll see how Pirates VR plays on the Quest. And usually we get like surprise games that slip in here every once in a while. But overall, yeah, not the most exciting month. And like I said, I just want to keep it real with you guys. Now, if you think I missed the game, please let me know what it is down in the comments. Any additional questions, drop them down there too. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you guys on next time.